This week only until the 28th, GamerSupps is having a sale where you can use code BigFry and get 21% off your entire order. Go to the link in the description in the top pinned comment, use code BigFry, and save some money. All right, the Black Hawk Down campaign has finally released for Delta Force. The last video I made, I was showing a little bit of concern based on some of the developers' words kind of leading up to this launch.
We know that our campaign will not be perfect, but it is something we poured our hearts and soul into it. Like I've said this before, this will not be a perfect campaign, but it is something we worked really hard on.
What does that mean? At the time of making that video, the current information we had was this was going to be a premium release that you would have to pay for that complements the free-to-play multiplayer portion of the game. And since that video, they announced this was going to become a free-to-play add-on for the game. You go download the DLC, you don't have to pay shit for it. And when they announced that, I thought that was a W. Hey, we don't have to pay for it. Great. But when you read between the lines, them saying that it's not going to be perfect, that there's going to be issues, and then they decide to make it free to play. I mean, this entire thing has been a walking red flag for the last month or so, and rightfully so, apparently, because the game has released to mostly negative reviews on Steam, sitting at about a 35% and dropping pretty much every time I look at it. This is teetering on overwhelmingly negative, which is just par for the course in the FPS space. But why is it negative? Why is it sitting at 35%? What are people saying? And do I agree with them? That's the point of this video. I want to give you guys my opinions on the Black Hawk Down campaign. I put some time into it yesterday. We did a 4-player co-op campaign playthrough, and that's the gameplay you guys are seeing in the background. We haven't finished the campaign yet, but we are close. But I feel like I've played more than enough to give my thoughts on the current state of the Delta Force campaign. Leave a like on the video and subscribe for more FPS content. My name is BigFry, and let's get into it. So I think it's worth noting right off rip, this is a DLC that you have to download on Steam that is an add-on to the Delta Force game. However, the multiplayer portion of Delta Force that we have been playing for the last few months was built on Unreal Engine 4, whereas Black Hawk Down, for some reason, was built on Unreal Engine 5. And from a visual standpoint, this is one of the best looking shooters I've seen in a long time. The amount of clutter that you see kicking around when you're going through construction buildings and there's like cement and debris and rebar sticking out. The level visual quality is top notch. The sharpness, like I can't get over how good the game actually looks. But as we know with most Unreal Engine 5 games, you're taking a major hit to performance. And I have to say, the performance of this is all over the place. There are moments where I'm getting really good frames, everything is looking good. And then there's moments where the game is dipping to 20 FPS. And that's on a 4080 with 64 gigs of RAM and a 12900K. This is a chugger. Not to mention the way they did the DLC, it basically works the same as like a COD HQ. You have to boot into Delta Force, and then when you're in Delta Force, you click like start on your mission. Once you get your team together, you hit start, and then it opens up another game on top of Delta Force called Black Hawk Down that then lets you play the mission. I think we all have to ready up and then I can start. All right, here we go. Apparently it's quick matching. Oh my god!
I just closed my game.
My
now
game.
it's launching.
It'll do this.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
what?
It's gonna do this.
What?
Yeah.
What in the fuck? That's
so
weird.
Black Hawk Down. Yeah, Black Hawk Down has its own separate launcher-esque thing. Like,
that's the dumbest shit I've heard. And a lot of the reviews are pointing this out. The performance is abysmal. The executable, the way that they designed this like HQ to load into games, it's all just throwing the game for a loop. And a lot of people are having major performance issues. And I see it too on a rig that is, I would say, part of the 1% when it comes to PC rigs. If you're on a lower end system, you're probably fucked. So it's a typical Unreal Engine 5 game at this point. It's visually breathtaking at points. When you're playing the night ops mission and the flashlights are going, you're moving through in co-op. It's fucking incredible. But the inconsistent performance makes it really hard to get excited about playing the game more. And outside of performance, I actually think the porting to Unreal Engine 5 was kind of a detriment as well, because we're missing some core staples of FPS games, like a melee button. You cannot melee in the game. If an enemy runs up to you, they do this like weird super kick, like they're Jey Uso at WrestleMania. They boot you in the face, you die, or you go down instantly. Your team has to revive you, but there's nothing you can do outside of shooting them. So if they happen to catch you in the middle of a reload, or in this case here, if they happen to phase through a door behind you and just kick you in the back of the head, there's nothing you can do. And before we get the people in the comments going, "Fry, you just missed him running through the door because you're bad," this motherfucker looks like Han Solo frozen in carbonite. Let's get real here. I found it really odd that there wasn't a melee in this version of the game, but there is in the base version of Delta Force multiplayer. It's like the port process, they didn't bring it over, which I think is just fucking weird. The game is also very hardcore, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's actually a really, really good thing. You have to manage your ammo and your resources very well, because you're going through these long missions and there are no resupplies of ammo. There are no checkpoints. If you die, you're starting the entire mission over. Again, I think those are good things. What I find weird is that you can't pick up other people's weapons. If you kill an enemy and you see that they drop an AK, you can't grab it if you're out of ammo. You can't pick up ammo off of dead body. Like, there's no... It feels dated in that sense, and maybe that's what they were going for, trying to harken back to the games of old. However, if they said that, I would say it's probably just an excuse. I don't know if during the port process, they just didn't test that they had all of these things, because I will say the game does feel incredibly rushed, and I wish they would have taken way more time with it than they did. In the 4 hours of playtime that we put in yesterday, we ran into a multitude of bugs. Oh! Oh! They don't see me.
Well, that's not a...
There's no fucking way. Wait, wait, I'm spectating you watching me standing up. What the fuck was that?
Can we just restart?
We can't. Oh.
Reviving, need fire support. Engaging.
Blackout, if you can get Arctic.
Need to reload.
We've lost the
Fuck,
soldier.
he's dead. I am too. Great.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Damn it.
Yeah, it moved me in here when
Yeah,
I
I'm
healed
stuck.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Reloading. Cover me.
I'm guessing, did it blow you over here?
I'm in here with you. I'm underneath you. I can't lay out. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I can't do
below you.
anything now.
Sorry.
Well, that's all right. We're dead.
Yeah, I threw that.
Dude, actual fucking dog shit. Okay?
Okay.
That being said, the bugs were kind of funny and they were few and far between, but I will say I wasn't expecting it to be as buggy as it was. I was hoping that there was going to be a little bit more polish on this, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, a lot of people look at this studio as like an indie version taking on Call of Duty. Realistically, these guys are funded by Tencent. They're a direct like subsidiary development studio powerhouse of Tencent. They have infinite amounts of money. They're doing marketing campaigns. They're doing Twitch drops. They're doing all of these other things, but then they're dropping half-assed DLCs. And at this point, I think we can call this a half-assed DLC. There are some fun things here, and playing with a squad, playing with your friends, I think you can have a fun time, and it's free. But the way they've designed this game from like a campaign single player perspective is a little asinine. There are moments where if you're not like tight knit with your group and somebody might have, ran ahead a little bit, you might have guys spawn right on top of the rest of the group because that player made it to a spawn trigger that's far enough ahead, and the game doesn't take into account where the players actually are. They don't try to spawn guys like off screen that are coming around corners. They sometimes just spawn in the same room that you're in, or they might spawn like right behind you. We had multiple moments where we've cleared rooms and then get shot from behind as we're leaving, as if they're in the room. It's very, very strange. And I would say, like, you start to notice the cracks in the game very, very quickly. I'll say this, if I had to pay money for this campaign, I think if it was like $10, $15, I would be okay with it. I'm in love with the setting. I like the fact that we have something that we can play through cooperatively, and I like that there's a challenge involved. It's hardcore, and you have to play as a team. I like the ability to choose different classes that can then pass things like ammo and meds around, and you actually have to communicate, being like, I need meds, I need ammo, and you have to find the people. It's a decently designed co-op experience, which is something that I'm looking for nowadays when it comes to my shooters. So this is right up my alley. I just wish they took more time to really hone in on the feature set and hone in on the performance, and just, instead of hiding behind, oh guys, we made it free now, just like take your time and make it work. One of the major complaints is you literally can't fucking play the game offline. You have the option to co-op or quick match, and if you go into co-op, you basically open up to a squad screen, and then you can invite your friends, or you can play by yourself. Here's the thing, I'm gonna say this for my solo guys out there, you're not making it through this game. The game is not built for solo play. All of the encounters and all of the spawns are designed around having 4 players in the game. So if you're playing by yourself, you're playing on the hardest of hardcore, Jeff Hardy fucking hardcore mode. It is going to be a nightmare for you. And there's a lot of reviews that are pointing this out as well. They don't want to queue with randoms, and they don't have friends to play. And it is fucking difficult to get through even the first couple of missions. So just know, if you're playing solo, you're in a meat grinder. But that being said, why was it designed the way that it is when it comes to having to always be online, connecting, and having it be a DLC? Why couldn't this have been a separate client so that we don't have to open up Delta Force to then go in and open up Black Hawk Down? It's very, very weird the way they did it. The campaign itself, like with the cinematics and like the pseudo kind of story going on, it's very high quality from a visual standpoint, from a cinematic standpoint. I don't know if these guys are going to be giving support to this post-launch. If they can fix the performance issues and actually maybe take into account that maybe they lost some features along the way when they ported from 4 to 5, and then maybe bring in a melee, maybe bring in the ability to scrounge for ammo and weapons, maybe just bring in those quality of life improvements to the game that could make it feel a little less dated. I don't know if that's in the cards for them. I hope it is, because I feel like if they even put like a skeleton crew to kind of fix some of those issues, they could bring this to a state where I would be happy, like saying, hey, go for it, play it. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, it's a free DLC that you can try for zero risk, outside of maybe your sanity a little bit. I can't really say shit. I'm gonna bring up the negatives, I'm gonna bring up the positives. Here's what I will say. Along all of the negatives, we still had a really good time, but I do feel like that was just because I was playing with my friends. If I actually put money down for this, or if I actually tried to play with randoms, I'd probably be singing a very different tune. So if I'm gonna recommend this to you guys, I'm gonna say, get 3 other friends together, everybody download it, and jump in, and just go in knowing that it's not perfect. And if you can do that, I think you'll have a decent time. It's not everything that I wanted out of it, and realistically, I was left saying, man, I really wish Call of Duty and Battlefield would just make co-op campaigns, because holy shit, there are some cool moments when you're moving through alleyways and you got guys on your back, guys are spawning all around, you feel surrounded, and just with the visual fidelity, it's almost where it needs to be for me to be really excited about it. But again, it is free to play. Go try it out for yourselves. just know you're probably going to run into a multitude of issues, from performance to bugs to just the fact that the game is missing features that the normal game has. If you go in with zero fucking expectations, I think you'll be all right. As always, my name is Big Fry, and I want to know what you guys think down below. Literally, as soon as this came out, there were so many people hitting me up, asking me my thoughts on it. I want to know your thoughts. Have you played the Delta Force campaign? What do you think? What would you rate it? Put your thoughts in your comments down below. And while you're down there, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more FPS content just like this. Next week, we have Steam Next Fest, and there's a shit ton of stuff coming down the pipe that I can't wait to talk about more. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, GamerSupps is doing a sale until the 28th where you can use code BigFry to get 21% off your entire order. And the link is down in the description in the top pinned comment. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.